Okay, hello everyone. This is Viorel Dragan. I'm the dev lead with the SAP Pack, and today we're going to talk about version 4401 released last month with the major feature of extracting from for HANA. Dhanendra, if you want to move to the timeline slide, please. Here we're traditionally showing the timeline for the pack. All the active versions starting from 432, which will be end of service next year, by the way. So if you have customers that still use that, they should consider upgrading. And of course, we recommend going to the newest release 4401, especially since it supports all the information server versions still in service. So the latest version 4401 just has this one major feature, the BW for HANA on-premise extract support. And in addition, we've done major updates to the knowledge center, including this the classic article that guides customers step by step on how to build jobs, complete with SAP screenshots. And I will pass the mic to Dhanendra to go through the slides, and then we'll have a demo of this new feature. Dhanendra?
Thanks, Viral. Yeah, thanks, Viral. And just a sound quality check. Viral, is my voice okay at your side?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
First of all, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you from where you are joining. So let me just proceed with the presentation. 4.40.1, the major changes from the installation point of view are not much, but yes, the one new changes which has happened 4.40.1 is we have included the RFC, which is a remote function call function module transports, with the SAP packs, BW pack. So far as you know that there was no RFM or RFC transport was required to run SAP BW pack. But in this particular fixed pack, as we will be explaining it later on, there is a requirement of some RFMs which the SAP BW pack will install on your SAP server, and therefore you require additional RFMs transport in this particular slide. So you can refer to it later on as well. In terms of dependents, SAP libraries, no changes. It require NetWeaver RFC SDK 7.5. This is, I think, is not required. SAP NW RFC SDK 7.2 is not required. Move it to that. There are some typos actually. Yes, that this should be 4.40.1 rather than 8.1 fixed spec. We'll correct that slide and we'll give it to you all for your future references. It continued to use SAP Java connector SAP 0, and its more recent version can also be used. For 4.4, as we will mention in the last slide, we have started supporting the SNC login. For that, you need the SAP cryptographic libraries. So no changes as with respect to the base pack of 4.4. There are no changes in the SAP dependent libraries. Is coming new in 4.4 fixed pack 1 is in terms of the innovation, we have the support for BW for HANA on-premise system. So we have been able to support the extraction of data from SAP BW for HANA. And therefore, you can make use of the BW extract stage to extract data, from such systems. improvements as usual in Fixpack, and we have fixes for many internally found defects in previous releases and IPAR fixes. And as Viral mentioned, we have updated the knowledge center. In fact, in this particular release, we have come up with a very detailed document of a kind of a tech node, which you can navigate through the knowledge center, which will explain you all the stages of BW Pack with the examples, so as to make you, design and run the BW Pack stages much more comfortably. So before coming to the data stage, let me just speak about about the BW for HANA. As you know, SAP BW for HANA are the latest additions of the business warehouse capabilities of SAP solutions. So BW for HANA comes on the top of SAP HANA database, and it gives in terms of the main benefits that that the customers may get on this BW for HANA is the simplicity, because the modeling has been reduced to a much simplified version, and therefore it leads to the reduced development time. It has a quite high performance application as compared to SAP BW as per the SAP documents, and the reason is that it has a greater integration with HANA, which you know that it's an in-memory database. And with additional benefits associated with the HANA service. It has an advanced analytical libraries and even algorithms for data mining and predictive analytics scenarios. And it also brings openness to the table, since you can bring and consume data from variety of the data sources. Internal or external. Internal means like within the SAP ecosystem, or it could be external. And it even supports all the big data scenarios like loading data from Hadoop and other data sources. In terms of user experience, it has improved a lot. The main thing is that the SAP BW is now supported on Fiori-based application, which is UI-based application. So it brings a quite easy to use interfaces. It has a new, developers, so new developer interfaces via SAP HANA Studio, which is an Eclipse-based platform for the BW application developers to design process chains and all doing all those things. And from the user perspective, it has a tighter integration with SAP Business Objects, Cloud, and advanced analytics solutions. This is just a schematic diagram what has happened, what has changed from the SAP classical BW systems. So you could see on the left hand side, we are comparing the BW objects. So in the classical SAP BW systems, there were lot many objects, as you could see, and it has been reduced to only 4. Both, so there's a huge reduction both in the persistent layer as well as the virtual layer. So in the persistent layer, you just now have info objects and advanced DSO. And on the virtual layer, every other objects of the classical BW merged with the open ODS view and composite provider. So this is the simplification of the modeling that I was talking about in the previous slide. In the right hand side, if you could see, this presents the source system. Systems, as you know, is the business warehouse application. So you need to bring data from a variety of source systems. So you in classical BW system, there were a variety of sources, which is also now simplified into only 4 categories of source systems, which include HANA source system, which contain connects, which provides the connectivity to the internal ecosystem of SAP. Then you have big data. For example, getting data from Hadoop and all. ODP has also so this particular part is about the CDC, the change data cap ECC application, SAP ECC, or now you can call it SAP S4 HANA applications. So there is a provision of ODP, which is operational data provisioning, and SAP BW for HANA comes with a native ODP support data from ERP applications. And of course, they have continued with the file. So quite a simplification in the source system. If you could see, there's one source system which is BAPI or partner, which is for external source systems. Unfortunately, that has been removed, from in SAP BW for HANA. I'll be talking about that on also in this presentation. This partner system, if you are aware, with the SAP BW application, this source system was nothing but the source system, which we used to configure in data stage connection to SAP BW or in any other stage of SAP BW Pack. So this has been removed in SAP BW from the SAP side. Looking at what we have seen so far, what are the changes of SAP BW HANA in comparison to SAP classical BW system, and because of those changes, there are some changes which are impacting our BW packs as well. Just to summarize the changes which we have discussed so far. First of all, the support service for the third-party Open Hub destination is removed from SAP BW for HANA. So this is impacting us. There is no concept of third-party application as of now in BW for HANA. The only possible targets in Open Hub destination you can have is database, table, and file. The concept of BAPI or external sources in BW for HANA. 7.x data sources has been removed as a persistent staging area, right? As you would have remembered the earlier slide, it was just replaced with the ADSO or info objects. So practically speaking, we just have ADSO now. Support for the staging 7.3 integration scenario is also discontinued for now, with SAP BW for HANA. And this was this particular scenario is actually making use of 7.x data sources through which we used to load data into SAP BW systems using our BW 7.x load stage. So this is another change impacting SAP BW packs. Just to been discussing it all along, but just to summarize the impact on the SAP BW pack stages because of these changes in BW for HANA. First of all, our legacy load stage, right, which uses info sources, and as I said earlier, BW 7.x load stage, which uses 7.x data sources to load data into SAP BW system, are no longer can be used as of now. So please be aware about this particular thing. So therefore, in the BW pack fixed pack 1, BW 4 fixed pack 1, we just have started giving the warning to the user as soon as they try to design a legacy load and 7x load stages in case they have selected a connection to SAP BW for HANA. So this is warning will come that will tell the user, okay, these stages are not available to use for BW for HANA. Then we have BW extract stage. We are glad that we have been able to suppose the extraction with BW for HANA in our existing extract stage itself with some kind of changes, which we will be explaining it later. There is no concept of source system now, since, as I said, BAPI or external source systems are removed from SAP BW for HANA. So therefore, what happened that if you, I was telling you earlier as well, you can't select, or there is no concept of selecting a source system in any of the BW pack stages, as you would be familiar, using them for classical BW systems. Since there are no source systems, therefore there is no server connection between data stage and SAP BW systems, and therefore the BW RFC listeners does not have any significance for the data stage connections to SAP BW for HANA. In fact, when you will create a BW for HANA connection in data stage SAP BW pack, there won't be any instance of BW RFC listener will be created such kind of connections, since we don't need it. As simple as that, right? So these were the changes. Then now to use that stage in BW for HANA, there are some changes that as a user you must be aware about it. So I'm just listing it down, and then I'll show you in the data stage server. these application. So first of all, nothing changed as far as designing a data stage connection to SAP BW HANA for goes, right? So as you from 4.4, you can design or you can create your data stage connection to SAP BW application in data stage administrator for SAP BW application, right? So there only you need to create it. I'll show you uh, where to create it in live demo. Then the second process also remains same. You need to select process chain. One obvious difference you would find in the GUI that as in case your data stage connection to SAP is BW for HANA connection, your source system will be disabled. You are not required to select any source system here. Therefore, you will find this grayed out. Then the third step that we used to follow is Open Hub destination. So or info spokes. So just to let you know that info spokes are already deprecated, as you know, it was only supported till SAP BW 3.5 system. Just to remind you that even those are not available for SAP BW for HANA. So you will find this as no, there is no requirement to select BW 3.8 info spoke. But yes, you still have to select the Open Hub destination here. But as I was telling you that this Open Hub destination would be linked to the database table rather than to open a third-party destination, right? So therefore, we used to have one concept which is called update BW. If you could look at right hand side of this bottom of this dialog. So this concept has gone now, since earlier we used to update the data stage, job name, and some other parameters in the BW. Since it linked to the third party destinations. So since there is no concept of third party destination now, so therefore there is no significance of update BW, and therefore you will find this particular option grayed out in the GUI. Particular slide just gives you a background and the sequence, runtime sequence, what happened in the runtime when you run your job, right? So straightforwardly, I'll explain this. As usual, as usual in the classical BW system as well, as soon as you start your runtime, we will invoke chain. It will continue to behave like this. These are just an internal detail. You need not to be aware about it as a user, but sometimes this information helps you to troubleshooting the steps or troubleshooting any kind of that you are getting it on the runtime. So it will continue to run this, invoke this particular API to start process chain in the SAP server, SAP BW server. Now, this is a change here because earlier the BW extract stage was using Open Hub service, which is was using all the standard functionality of SAP BW application. BW for HANA, we have to introduce our custom RFM in the IBM namespace, which of course will come in your SAP BW server once you install the SAP transports provided with the SAP BW Pack. So this particular service will check the status of DTP. Since DTP, if you know, if I just tell you about in brief about DTP, DTP are data transfer. So they are kind of agent which uh, which actually provides the data from the source to your OSD. So therefore, till the time the DTP is green, there's no point in extracting data from Open Hub destination or OSD, in short, we call it. So therefore, we'll keep waiting. The runtime will keep waiting for your DTP status to get green. If you see here G, which signifies the G here, DTP successfully completed and data can be fetched from the OSD. So once we have in SAP BW server, the DTP which is associated selected Open Hub destination is green, your runtime will start extracting the data from the OSD, and again with the help of a custom RFM, which is the functionality which is provided with the SAP BW Pack transport. So, and that's marks the completion of your runtime. So will the whole of the packets will come into the data staging area. As in the classical BW, as you know that in BW Pack 4.4, we have introduced the concept of parallelism in BW extract stage. So therefore, this particular uh, feature will continue to work as before. In 4.40.1, even the extraction of data from BW for HANA is supported on the in the parallel engine. So you can extract your data using multiple number of nodes to achieve better efficiency and better speed for the data transfer. Point is that in BW classical stage, in classical BW, you can execute or you can trigger your data stage job from SAP BW in a sense that you can then running your job directly, you can invoke the process chain in the SAP BW server, and it used to invoke the data stage job by itself. But since, as you know, there is no concept of BAPI source system and open hub destination as well, I mean to third-party application. So therefore, that particular functionality is no more applicable for BW for HANA. In BW for HANA, you can only extract the data by job at the data stage side, not at the SAP BW server side. This marks the end of a few slides which we have prepared for this particular. Let me go to the live demo so that I can show you how to design the job for BW for HANA, showing you one running job with BW for HANA. Login into a Fiori-based application which is linking to my BW for HANA server. Same instance, you can also get it from here, the classical SAP GUI that we are all familiar with. So in this particular demo, let me just show you started from the data stage server. So right now I'm showing you the application here. Let me just go to one of the job that we have already designed for this particular demo. So before that, let me just also go to the administrator application for designing the connection. Just invoked the BW administrator, data stage administrator for SAP BW Pack application. So in terms of your BW for BW connection, nothing changed much. So you always need to create connection from the data stage administrator. So as you must be aware that you need to give the connection and login details. The login details for the BW for HANA connection, since it is a BW for HANA on-premise system, so you still need to provide the application server, system number, and all things. And in case you are using the load balancing, then you need to provide the message server and the associated details, right? So nothing changed. The SNC is also supported. So if you want to connect using secure network connection to your BW for HANA server, you can always go for your SNC connection for runtime or for the GUI. There is no concept of RFC servers, so therefore this is not applicable in case you are defining a BW for HANA. Right, so this is similar. This is thing which you will find it here. So I'm connecting to one of my BW for HANA, which has an ID called B42. So I have provided all my details here in terms of application server here. If you see here, this is already grayed out. Now there's another thing that you can't define. So if I just click here in the source system, you will find that this functionality is not available for the connection defined for BW for HANA SAP system. Right? In case if this is a classical BW system, you know that I can always go to my source system panel and can create my source systems. So this is of course not available for your BW for HANA. So once you have designed this, defined that particular connection, I'll taking you to the BW Extract stage editor. So as you are must be already aware that first of all we will go to the stage general page, and then we'll define data stage connection to SAP by selecting the same connection which you have created on your data stage administrator. Now, in the process chain, if you could see, I have defined I have this a process chain which I can show you on this application here. So if I There's already a tile available from editor. This all thing is also available on HANA Studio in case you have HANA Studio for BW for HANA modeling. So generally developers work on that particular area. Take some time in the Fiori application to load this. So I'll go to the data stage screen again. But just to briefly explain you what this process chain is doing, it is just connecting to an ECC application and trying to get data from FIGL02. So this is how this is defined here. So it is just connecting to ECC application and getting the data from a data source called 0FIGL to 12, which is general ledger account maintenance related information. Once it is there, then I need to connect to the OpenHub destination, which is linked to it. Generally, we use it HANA Studio, so I'm not sure where you can see here in. So if you could that it is using a destination called OHZL underscore 12. So this would be my second step. So in the OpenHub destination, I can select this particular OSD. Also introduce some kind of validation as well. So we have selected some couple of cases. For example, from your OSD, the OSD must be only connected with only one DTP, not more than number of DTP and all such things. So there are some extra validations now put in the extract stage editor, so that it allows you not to do any kind of mistake while designing. So for example, you could see like only one DTP is associated with this. No other data is this particular OSD is getting feeded only by one DTP, not more than one. And then if you can see the third party destination. Okay. Okay, so this one thing which I'm not able to show you here because I don't have the HANA Studio environment here. But if you go into the Studio, you will find that this particular OSD is only linked with the database table. The BW extract stage now only allow you to select the OSD which are linked to table rather than to a file, or I mean the other option could be only file in BW for HANA. In classical BW it could be like we used to support OSD which only links to third party destination. So this is that you will see in BW for HANA. So now once we have selected this OSD, you will find its metadata here of the OSD. You'll find here, and that's all. There is no requirement of putting any update BW. As you could see, this is grayed out. I can't click here. And the another important thing is that it has keys. Now, if I can run this particular job, in fact, I have already run it a minute before. If you could see, like just run it just before, show you in the log as well. So it will give you the all information. For example, if first of all, it will show you that you are connecting to a SAP BW for HANA, which is represented internally BW4 core component. So earlier, if you know, in classical component, it used to be BI and a BI con component. So now it is changed to DW for core, which will help you to analyze from the customer on which system they are running it. It gives you the system number and all the login details that you have given for it, the code page details and all. Yeah. So if you could see here, like this is validating the, so we do the validation of your open up destination which you're selecting. And then, uh, sorry, I'm going previous actually should have. So once the validation is successful, then we start a data stage initiated BW extraction. We start the process chain. So you'll get some kind of ID which can be used to collect some kind of logs from your SAP BW server if there any kind of requirement. Once it is detected that the BW server is ready for extraction of data, then we start extraction. And this is nothing but that your internal DTP has now changed to green. So from there, we start getting the data. And this, you will get it in the packets here. So you could see that we have run this particular job in 4 nodes here. And we have been able to extract data on those particular nodes. See, like on 4 node, this particular job is running. And once the data is finally loaded, you can see this. So how it works internally, that from the BW system, we always link to a backend table which is there for the BW for HANA. For example, if I go to SE6, which is a transaction code for any kind of table record. Just see my my open up destination as well. We were using this open hub destination. So in SAP BW, like for every OST, in case if it is linked to the underlying to the database table, there is a table which is created with this particular name terminology, which is like some namespace of SAP, and then you have OH and the DTP, the OSD name. If you could go here, and if I just put this particular request number, you could see that when we run this particular job, there is a request sent from the database server to SAP BW for HANA server that we want to extract data from OSD. So every request has a unique ID, which is nothing but a kind of a timestamp. So therefore, like we are extracting the data for a request, and I can filter my records as per this particular number here. You could see like the required data was something like 1.3 million here. Similar data, you could see that has been extracted in the SCP in the data. Look at this particular data, which is here, and the similar data you could see it in target source. I mean target connector, which in this particular case we are just using file. Straight run it again. Till the time it is running, I can show you some other thing as well on the BW for HANA. You can do a little bit of logging. You can look at a little bit of logging on the SAP BW side, BW server from your BW Fury application, which is BW Cockpit. If I go for Open Hub destination, manage request, and if I just filter it for the one which I was using, you could see here it says in process running because my application is running here. This is still loading. Loading means it is loading the data to the target, which is nothing but OSD. High volume of data here. It's just taking a little bit more time. But just to show you, for example, the last run of this that we have made here. So you can go here and look as well. This is the last run of our data stage job. Will tell you the whole the logs from the SAP BW side, how process is going on. You could look at some other statistics also, like for example, what was the start time, how much time it has taken to request, and all such thing. It should have displayed some request data as well. At least it should have given, but we are finding it out that it is not working for now. As of now, in this Fury application provided by SAP, that the place where you could see the data as well. And if I just go back to my data stage here, so if you could see that the data has been is getting loaded onto the stage area. So let me just go back. This has now changed to green since data has been loaded to the Open Hub station. Right? So there's still a data transfer which is happening here since now the data is fetched from the SAP BW for HANA to the data stage area. That's exactly what you're seeing it here. So with this, I mean, it will just take maybe a few seconds more to complete the data. But this Viral, I'm done with the and we can open the floor for Q&A. Thank you very much for your attention. Uh, Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
Viral. I can hear you
sorry,
now.
got disconnected for a second.
Sure, no issues. So, Viral, I just said I don't know whether you heard me or not. So, I'm done with the presentation.
Okay.
So, we can open the floor for Q&A. And I thank all the participants for their patience listening.
Sure. Thank you, Narendra. Thank you for the good presentation. So if anybody has questions, now is the time to ask. Okay, so if no questions, then we'll.
Viral, this is Rich here.
I'm sorry about that. Let me just 1 second. I just realized that I muted everyone. Let me just unmute everyone. Okay, go ahead. And then everyone is unmuted now. You can ask questions.
Hi, thank you. Hey, Viral, that was a good presentation. I joined a little bit late. I wanted to understand, this BW extraction functionality has been around for a long time. Is there a roadmap for some of the other capabilities to work on a BW4 HANA, BW on HANA, and other platforms where the significant work is being done through BI analytics work on our own data platform on the Cogno on Watson? So, do we have any data stage activities, connectivity on different platforms, HANA, starting with that, and the second is internal platforms on IBM Cloud?
Hi.
Yeah, well, this
There are some. There is an echo.
information server.
Okay, Pete, go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is Pete, one of the offering managers. But as most know on the phone now, our packs, regardless of whether they're SAP packs or SAS pack or Siebel, they're all specific to data stage and information server. So within that context, that's where they're. If you're asking for some data virtualization within CP4D or any other requirements, those would have to be brought up by those specific.
No, I understand that. No, this is information. I'm pretty familiar with that topic. What I wanted to understand is now we have this BW on HANA and, that has been around for a while, BW4 HANA, and there's the same offering now happening from SAP perspective is on the cloud. So SAP Cloud Analytics Platform could potentially have cloud platform of data. This is only SAP ecosystem. But when you look at the broader context of IBM now also has some data platforms sitting on IBM's cloud on Bluemix, so that clients can instantiate that. So there will be federated analytics platform. And what I'm trying to understand is, will the same pack allow us to connect to SAP systems for SAP ecosystem as it is on BW on HANA? That's the first part of BW for HANA. And the second is, do we have other capabilities that we plan to introduce for other analytics platforms, such as SAP on cloud or on IBM cloud?
Yes.
Right, so we do have plans for the future. It's not probably the right place to talk about it. So I can explain you, Ruchir, if you contact me directly. But basically, for connecting to different SAP products, so the cloud-based ones, they offer OData, most of them. And that's the SAP recommended way of connecting to cloud systems. And we do have an OData connector in the applications pack. So we are talking about maybe making this connector very available in the BW pack as well, or maybe merging these packs, the two packs, and it's just one connector, and that's what SAP recommends to use for multiple of these systems. So OData will be the choice going forward. For BW specific, we may implement support for ADSO for loading to BW for HANA, because that's still on premise. They don't have a cloud offering as of now. It's a warehouse product, so it makes sense to stay just on premise. So that's for the connectivity side. For the delivery model, so where the SAP packs are supported, right now it's just on-premise or managed cloud, but we're working to add Docker and container support, so that will enable it for deployment with data stage on cloud providers like Azure or IBM or Google, and then also including it in Cloud Pak for Data. That's the next. That's the plan for the next year.